Hi, it's your favorite startup founder, Sydney Madison Prescott, and welcome to Mirror Mirror, a startup founder's peek behind the mirror. Great to have you here and can't wait for you to hear the latest episode. Hi there. Today, I'd like to talk about the preposterous way that big tech tries to trick you into thinking that the technology solutions that exist today are somehow so inherently powerful that they can fundamentally change the course of human history. And I'll give you a great example. In 2015, Sam Altman said that AI will probably end the world. Now, here's my question. That was 2015, right? If he really seriously thought that AI could end the world, and he is the CEO of OpenAI, ChatGPT, explain to me why ChatGPT still can't make a decent PowerPoint. So it's going to end humanity, but meanwhile, it can't put together a PowerPoint deck. Like, be fucking for real. Like, and if they're doing something behind the scenes in the sandboxes at OpenAI that's so incredibly revolutionary that it can literally end all of humanity, which is over 8 billion people, could they take 5 minutes to just please create the code where you could have ChatGPT put together a decent PowerPoint? Please and thank you. A PowerPoint with visuals, please and thank you, and verbiage, please and thank you. And and I'm being facetious, but I'm also being serious because it goes back to that question of why does big tech do this? Why do they put out, and I will say they, the white heterosexual tech bros, why do they put out these insane glimpses of quote unquote, I'll do air quotes, the future? But meanwhile, what exists today is nowhere near what they are proposing to the average citizen. And I will tell you why. It is nothing more than fear mongering. When you are an engineer and you know how to code and you know how to everything from UI UX, which is the front end design, to the back end, to risk and compliance, to managing the security and mitigating any issues that will happen on the back end, and you know that other people in society do not understand what you do, you have the opportunity to mislead people. And that is what we are getting. We are getting these absurd predictions about the future, which have no logical basis in reality. If you tell me that the future is going to look like XYZ, logically, you need to create basically the foundation for me to understand how that is going to come about. You can't just say AI is going to end humanity. Oh, but P.S. right now, it can't even create a paragraph without the dashes that show you that it's ChatGPT, the dashes. But yes, it's definitely going to kill all life on planet Earth. Like, I wish that the average, and I don't say average to be pretentious, but I mean this in a heartfelt way. I wish that the average person who uses technology knew that for the most part, you are consistently being misled by these big tech companies. They want everything that they build to be seen as the latest, the greatest, the end all to be all, the thing that's going to change humanity, when in fact, they are doing nothing more than creating basic technology systems. Yes, some of them do more than systems that were built 20 years ago, but that's the same thing with any technology. You look at cars from 20 years ago. Did they have the same features that they have now? No, they did not. So don't take it as this individual who is proposing these immensely complex, uh, super, they're usually overly manufactured ways of thinking about how humanity interacts with technology. Don't confuse that for this is a genius. This person is a genius, and their company is so revolutionary that there could be nothing before it and nothing after it. Do not confuse it that way, because all of these companies, the majority of them that are proposing these absurdities, are publicly traded. What does that mean? They have to constantly push for and advocate for the value of their company. And how do they do that? They have to inflate the value of their company. And how do you do that? You do that by constantly saying things like, XYZ is so revolutionary. 1, 2, 3 is going to change the face of humanity. 4, 5, 6 is going to be something that no other company will ever be able to duplicate. A, B, C, D, E, F, G is something that may irreversibly shift the course of humanity, when in reality, none of these proposals are the truth. The reality is you're just building a version 2 of something that has already existed before. Yes, you're improving upon what has already existed, but that does not mean that you are going to somehow manifest a future for all of mankind and womankind that is going to be irreversible. That's just not the case. We have not seen that. We have not even seen technology that would prove to us that anyone saying things like this makes any sort of common sense. What has OpenAI shown you that would then prove to you that AI is going to end humanity? Nothing. AI is going to end humanity, but AI cannot even create structured sentences. AI is going to end humanity, but AI, as I said before, has specific markers that show you that AI has created that content. It's not the content that is created clearly looks machine generated. So explain to me how we go from basic sentences that AI cannot create without certain markers that show you, that are unique identifiers that show you that, oh, this content was created by AI. How do we go from that to AI is going to end all of humanity? It doesn't make sense. It's fundamentally illogical. And I really hope that as we move forward, not even just the technologists, as we move forward as a society, I hope that we start asking the pertinent questions about when we are introduced to these concepts, these grandiose concepts by tech bros. We need to push back and use our critical thinking skills. I know that sometimes we struggle with these. I say we as in the air quotes, the royal we. I do not struggle with these because I'm a philosopher by trade. And I was basically I've been taught how to enhance my critical thinking skills. But most people have not. And again, not being pretentious, it's just a fact. Most people do not have strong critical thinking skills, but you can improve your critical thinking skills over time, which I firmly believe we all should do. I still do it. I'm still constantly increasing my critical thinking skills. I will for the rest of my life, because I think it's that important, because having adequate critical thinking skills allows you to not be misled. And that is what is happening when we see all of these insane proposals that are being made by the tech bros, by anybody in big tech about what AI is going to be. We have not seen any examples of this. Now, again, prove me wrong if behind the scenes in the sandboxes, in the labs, you're doing something that is going to, I don't know, change the course of human history, I'm all ears. But from what I'm seeing from a consumer perspective, and not only consumer, working as an engineering executive in Fortune 100 companies, I'm here to tell you that saying that AI is going to fundamentally shift the ethos, the make a rift in time, in terms of life on planet Earth is not only absurd, it's preposterous, it's ludicrous, it's bordering on insanity. Like I would if someone said that to me, knowing what I know as an engineering leader, I would probably like question their sanity because there's nothing that exists today, again, within reason, that I have seen as an engineering leader in the business world, working at cutting edge companies, Spotify, E-Trade, Bank of New York Mellon, Fiserv, many companies, and I've had innovation labs at IBM, at Microsoft. I have seen nothing that would show me or you that we have anything to worry about AI suddenly, the becoming to all knowing, all seeing, all being. Now all of a sudden it is going to replace humanity. No, that is not going to happen. What you are seeing is marketing at its finest. Marketing specifically directed at stakeholders. And when I say stakeholders, I mean shareholders, to make sure that shareholders will feel as if they're getting their money's worth. What company would you feel more secure knowing that you have $500,000 invested in? A company that tells you that they are cutting edge and they're going to change the course of humanity, or a company that says, hey, we're a great company, we have great products, and we've released version 2 of a product that you've already seen before? Yeah, you're probably going to say the latter. When we talk about human autonomy and how that can be translated into autonomy for, I'll say, a non-living entity, which technology would be, unless you start talking about the technology, biohacking, and you're talking about splicing, technology with living cells. That's a totally different thing, but that's going to be a separate conversation. I'm not talking about that. If we're talking about just traditional technology as it stands by definition, you have to sell to your stockholders, because if you don't and you're a publicly traded company, if you're a CEO, you're going to get pushed out. If you're a CTO, you're going to get pushed out. If you are claiming that you are one of the world's greatest innovators, you are going to lose that title if you are constantly upping the ante. Oh, we're going to have sentience soon. Oh, we're going to have, when AI is going to be smarter than any human on planet Earth. Again, where is the proof? What have you produced that shows me that AI is going to be smarter than the average human on planet Earth? Where? I'm waiting. And if you're waiting to reveal that, if you have it in the lab and you haven't revealed it yet, it's still gaslighting, right? We call it marketing, but what it really is it's gaslighting. You're gaslighting the public to make yourself seem more opulent and intellectually savvy and, just the big man on campus, for lack of better words. When in reality, you're just a guy who is working in big tech, who came from privilege, who's building some things, and that's pretty much it. Some of the things are cool, but are they going to change the course of humanity? No. Because you know what? If you really wanted to change the course of humanity, show me the technology that is going to prevent domestic violence from impacting women. If you really want to show me technology that is going to change the course of human history, show me the technology that is going to fundamentally prevent the majority of child abuse from happening to minors. If you really are producing technology that is going to change humanity, show me the technology that is going to ensure that the majority of human beings on planet Earth have food to eat, have sustenance, running water, and food to eat. If you really are going to create technology that is going to change humanity, show me the technology that is going to ensure that the majority of human beings on planet Earth have shelter and running electricity and running water in the shelter. Exactly. You can't show me that, so please shut up. Because, and this is the exact attitude that we need to have, not only as technologists, but as members of society. If you cannot show me something, when you say that you are going to fundamentally change the course of human history, you better fucking show me something. And what you show me better change the lives of not the 1%, what you show me better change the majority of the lives of the 99%, and not in a surface, superficial way. You better show me something that is going to change the way that people experience human existence. And when I say human existence, I mean change the way that you can flourish as a human being, not something superficial. What does that mean? That means the basics for human beings: food, water, shelter, and emotional support. And not being physically abused, right? Having companionship. If you can't show me something along those lines, then everything that you are saying in relation to the inflated terminology that you're using in regards to how revolutionary your technology is a joke. And it is a misleading joke. And it is also gaslighting. And we don't want to hear it. What I want to do as a female technologist of color is I want to show you that when a technologist says that something is revolutionary, we can truly make things revolutionary and not go through the BS of the hoops that these white privileged tech bros are jumping through. We can create really profoundly impactful things for humanity, but it's going to take a diverse group of technologists. And when I say diverse, I mean diversity of thought, diversity of culture, diversity of age, diversity of human experience, diversity of the regional experiences that you have been through as a human being on planet Earth, depending on where you grew up at, where you went to school at, where you have matured as a young adult. Those diversity of gender, diversity of sexual orientation, diversity of race and nationality. Those are the technologists. The technologists who are checking those boxes, those are the technologists to watch. And I put myself in that bucket because I check many of those boxes. Neurotypical by professional diagnosis, not just my own whim of saying that I'm on the spectrum. I've been professionally diagnosed as being on the spectrum. I am a woman of color. I have experienced extreme prejudice, extreme sexism. I have experienced extreme poverty. I have experienced the extremes moving from a lower socioeconomic status to a higher socioeconomic status as a result of growing up in poverty, putting my way through undergrad and graduate school, and then moving into the professional realm as an engineer. I have experienced diversity of thought. Again, not only just being a woman of color and moving through those different categories, those different stratospheres of socioeconomic status and class, right? But also of race, of sexual orientation, of nationality, of regional differences. And all of those things culminate to give me the vision that I have for one of my startup companies, Mirror Mirror, which is how can I build a product that is technically a social media product, but equally a platform that will help you to refine and positively impact your mental health while simultaneously allowing you to learn, grow, and most importantly, fully enjoy style, outfits, putting on clothes, waking up in the morning and looking at your closet. These are the things that I'm bringing to the table with Mirror Mirror, my startup, which is the world's first AI fashion stylist who also curates and focuses on your mental health throughout the styling journey, who also has and our stylist name is Dorota, affectionately. Yes, that Dorota. If you get the nod to a certain TV show, you get it. But also it's focused on how do we build a virtual closet from the photos that you're uploading? How do we crowdsource opinions about your outfits from the entire Mirror Mirror community without bullying, without trolling? How do we allow you to focus on sustainability and really refine your tastes and be able to almost shop your closet and remix your outfits with the items that you already own? And then how do we have a very, I will say, intentional way that you curate the new items that you buy? So you have this beautiful, holistic view of your closet. You know how to remix your closet. It's constantly being remixed every day by our AI fashion stylist, Dorota. But then on top of that, our AI stylist, Dorota, is also recommending different brands, different accessories, different clothing items that would pair well with your sense of style, your current emotional cadence, the current region that you're in, the current season that we're in, the different events that you're going to. So what is happening in your life, but also what is already in your closet. It's just a way. And how did I come up with this concept? I will do an entire episode about just being a founder and ideation and how this concept did not come from me sitting around thinking, I want to build an AI startup and what should it be? It literally came from my own life and having a flash, a brainstorm in the middle of getting dressed where I said, I need to build this because I have this problem. I know that other people have this problem in terms of trying to get dressed and wanting a real time opinion about your outfit when nobody else is around. And that's how the idea of Mirror Mirror came about. I have so much more to say. I'd love to walk you through kind of what my conceptualization of Mirror Mirror was and how I've evolved the original concept into what it is today with Dorota and the AI styling and the virtual closet and the hyper focus on mental health and my personal creation, which is being trademarked, human-centric engineering, which again, I've come to that viewpoint as a result of being someone who has grown up in a plethora of diverse situations. And I'll leave you with this because we started out talking about, you know, gaslighting and big tech and how AI is going to end humanity and why that's not only completely ridiculous, absurd, and not true, but also how a lack of diversity leads to that type of gaslighting, that type of marketing, that type of thinking, that type of lack of critical thinking skills, to be completely honest. But I'll leave you with this. When we think about the future is whatever we shape it to be. The future is not defined as of today. It is a malleable substance. And when I say substance, you have to think of it in an abstract way. The future, time, space, people, animals, places, things, the physical realm of the future, as well as the metaphysical realm of the future, is malleable. Which means we shape it as we move closer towards it, right? And when you're in the current, what you are experiencing in the current point in time was at some point in time considered the future. So that's a little metaphysical, but think about that. What you currently experience was once the future, which means it was not defined until it was defined. And now again, I'm getting a little metaphysical. I'm getting a little into my philosophy side, but I say all of that to say we are defining the future as we progress towards it. So when you think about technology, when you think about your own potential as a human being on planet Earth, going through your life journey, think of it as my future is whatever I define it to be. The future of technology, the future of humanity is whatever we collectively decide it to be. Do not allow a small percentage of humanity, specifically meaning the 1%, to define what the future looks like for us, to define what reality will look like for us. And when I say us, I mean human beings. Do not allow them to do it. We, as a majority, need to stand up and speak out and define the future for ourselves as the majority. Do not let big tech and their horribly prejudiced, sexist, misogynistic, privileged tech bros define your reality and our reality as a species. We need to step forward. If all of us with diverse backgrounds, diverse experiences, diversity of thought, age, sexual orientation, race, religion, creed, we need to step forward and say, we're defining the future. Thanks, tech bros. We got it from here. Goodbye. Please go sail away on your overpriced yacht that you bought on the backs of gaslighting society to buy your products and goods and services. Thanks. Bye. We've got this. We've got to step into, as a society, not allowing the 1%, and specifically the tech bros of the world, big tech, to manipulate our thought process around what the future will look like as if it's inevitable. What they are predicting is the future that they want as big tech, as tech bros, in order to line their pockets and fill their bank accounts for the next generations of their individual personal families. That is not the future that we want as a society. That is not the future that we need as a society. And I would argue that it's not even the future that is ethical in nature. Let's step forward. Let's step into the light. Let's see what the future can look like when a diverse body of society is defining it, rather than letting the 1% of tech bros define what will constitute the future for all of humanity. If you love this conversation, I am releasing episodes of the Mirror Mirror, a startup founder's glimpse behind the mirror podcast every Tuesday and Thursday night. And I would love for you to follow me on social media. I'm your host and your favorite startup co-founder or startup founder, Sydney Madison Prescott. I say co-founder, founder. And I just would love for you to follow me on LinkedIn, my website, www.sydneymadisonprescott.com. Follow me on all social media. I have every social media account known to man. My handle is usually Sydney, Sidney, and the city. And please reach out to me. I want to hear your comments, your thoughts. If you hate what I had to say, if you love what I had to say, if you're torn about what I had to say, let's keep the conversation going. Please check out my startups, Mirror Mirror. It is on all social media platforms. The Mirror app. I also have the website for Mirror Mirror, www.themirrormirrorapp.com, and my agricultural tech startup, Adriatic Harvest, which is on all social media platforms as Adriatic Harvest, and our website is www.adriaticharvest.com. Thank you so much for the time and effort that you put into listening to this podcast episode. I do not take it for granted. I am a startup founder, a woman of color, a woman of color engineer who did not come from privilege. I built the first automation centers of excellence at Spotify, E-Trade, Bank of New York Mellon, and Fiserv. And I am building 2 startups, a fashion tech AI startup, Mirror Mirror, and an agricultural startup, which is also a tech startup, and an AI startup, Adriatic Harvest. And I'm building in public out loud because I do not have the privilege to build stealth, nor do I have the patience to build stealth. So if you love this podcast episode, please follow my journey. And as I'll sign off with my signature, let's get to freaking work.